Welcome back to History at War. In December 1944, the German army launched a surprise offensive in the Ardennes forest, hoping to split the Allied armies and turn the tide of World War II. Although the Battle of the Bulge inflicted heavy losses on both sides, the Allies eventually repelled the German advance and secured their victory in Europe. But what if things had gone differently? In this video, we'll explore the alternate history of what might have happened if the German Ardennes offensive had succeeded. So buckle up, grab your helmets, and let's dive into the fascinating world of wartime what-ifs. Firstly, if the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive, they would have been able to break through the Allied lines and potentially capture the port city of Antwerp. This would have disrupted the Allied supply lines and hindered their ability to resupply their troops. Additionally, the capture of Antwerp would have given the Germans a strategic advantage and a base for further offensives. Secondly, if the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive, they would have been able to capture a large number of Allied troops and equipment. This would have weakened the Allied armies and given the Germans more resources to continue their offensive. It could have also resulted in the capture of high-ranking Allied officers, which could have further disrupted the Allied chain of command. Another possibility is that a German victory in the Ardennes offensive could have led to a negotiated peace settlement. By breaking through the Allied lines and potentially capturing key cities, the Germans may have been able to force the Allies to negotiate a peace treaty. This could have resulted in a different post-war Europe, with different borders and power dynamics. Impact on Lendlease. If the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive and the war, it's likely that the US would not have been able to continue providing military aid to the Soviet Union through the Lendlease program. This could have significantly impacted the Soviet Union's ability to fight the Germans on the Eastern Front. The disruption of the Lend-Lease program could have had a negative impact on US-Soviet relations, which were a key component of the US-Soviet alliance during World War II. This could have significant implications for the development of the post-war world. Impact on the Western Front. The Germans winning the Ardennes offensive and the war could have significantly impacted the Western Front. The US and its allies could have faced a renewed German offensive on the Western Front, which could have led to significant casualties and prolonged the war. Impact on the Pacific theater. The Allies' focus on the European theater could have allowed Japan to continue its aggression in the Pacific if the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive and the war. This could have had significant implications for the outcome of the war in the Pacific, and may have led to a different outcome in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A German victory in the Ardennes offensive could have delayed or even prevented the invasion of Germany. If the Germans had been able to disrupt the Allied supply lines and weaken their armies, they may have been able to prevent the Allies from launching a successful invasion of Germany. This could have extended the war and resulted in a different outcome. Additionally, a German victory in the Ardennes offensive could have had significant geopolitical consequences. It could have potentially resulted in a different outcome for the Cold War, as the balance of power in Europe could have been altered. The United States and the Soviet Union may have approached post-war Europe differently if the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive. Furthermore, a German victory in the Ardennes offensive could have impacted the development of military strategy and tactics. If the Germans had won the battle, they would have demonstrated the effectiveness of their new tactics, including the use of elite troops and new technology. This could have influenced future military strategy and the development of new weapons and tactics. It's possible that they could have also launched an offensive against the Soviet Union from the West. This would have forced the Soviet Union to fight on two fronts and potentially weakened their ability to resist the German advance. If the Germans had won the Ardennes offensive, they could have even potentially convinced the Allies to side with them against the Soviet Union. This could have led to a different outcome for the Cold War and altered the balance of power in the world. The Ardennes offensive would have boosted the morale of the German troops, who were otherwise demoralized by the repeated losses and bombings. This could have led to a renewed German effort in the war, prolonging it further. Thirdly, a German victory in the Ardennes could have forced the Allies to reevaluate their strategy and potentially delay or change their plans for the invasion of Germany. This could have given the Germans more time to fortify their positions and prepare for a prolonged defense. Soviet advance. If the Ardennes offensive had succeeded, the Germans would have been able to transfer troops from the Western Front to the Eastern Front, where they were desperately needed to fight the advancing Soviet forces. A stronger German defense on the Eastern Front could have delayed the Soviet victory and prolonged the war in Europe. German unity. If the Ardennes Offensive had succeeded, it could have strengthened the position of the German leadership, particularly that of Adolf Hitler. This could have led to greater unity and coordination among the German military and political leadership, potentially resulting in a stronger and more effective German war effort. Greater Allied cooperation. If the Ardennes Offensive had succeeded, it could have exposed weaknesses in the Allied leadership and coordination. However, it could have also spurred the Allies to work together more closely, potentially resulting in a stronger and more united Allied front. Changes in leadership. If the Germans had won the Ardennes Offensive, it could have resulted in changes in leadership and military strategy. For example, Hitler may have gained more confidence and taken a more hands-on approach to the war effort, or new military leaders may have emerged with different strategies and tactics. In conclusion, the Ardennes Offensive was a pivotal moment in the European theater of World War II. If the Germans had won the battle, it could have changed the course of the war and had far-reaching consequences for post-war Europe and the world. As we've explored in this video, the potential outcomes of a German victory are numerous and complex, ranging from changes in leadership and military strategy to shifts in international relations and the global order. While we can never know for sure what would have happened if the Germans had won the Ardennes Offensive, it is clear that the battle had a significant impact on the outcome of the war. By studying the events leading up to the offensive and its aftermath, we can gain a deeper understanding of the complex and multifaceted nature of the Second World War. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration of what might have been. If you have any thoughts or comments on the topic, we'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you guys soon.